Yeah, man. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and move it in. We're about 45 minutes in, so we're going to move into the last category of the day. It's been a good podcast so far. Thanks, everyone, for coming on. But we're going to move it into the last section as we always do, which is what you've been sipping on. I hope you guys are ready. Any type of media fucking things that you've been consuming lately, let us know. Well, what you got? We're going to start off with Mitch being the guest that's not usually here. Well, what you been consuming, man?
I mean, more than anything, just watching the weather kind of for skiing and stuff, but not like, and then obviously all the stuff with Ohio and obviously the Chinese balloons and all of that. So we've pretty much hit everything that I've kind of been like,
Yeah. You're more of an
uh,
outdoorsy type of guy, so I'm assuming
yeah.
that you don't really consume much like media or anything like that.
I mean, I'm on social a bunch. I mean, I'm on TikTok. I play around on it a bit, make some videos. So,
Chinese spyware.
but
What
Oh
was
God.
that?
what was
Chinese
that?
spyware.
Chinese spyware.
Chinese.
Chinese
Oh,
spyware.
they're not getting much from me.
Yeah, I was just.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
most people don't have that to worry about.
well, when it comes down to the whole like Chinese spyware thing and stuff like that, that they're using it as a like spying thing. I, TikTok has been bought out. Like American TikTok is owned by a different entity than the Chinese TikTok. Now, whether or not they still have some like backdoor fucking virus or whatever that can spy on
And
us,
the coding and
yeah.
shit.
The big issue comes in that is when like the fact that Chinese TikTok has like it has a lot of emphasis on like scientific videos and stuff to educate people, and then like
Educating the youth,
yeah,
and
the
we got
Western
dance
society
videos.
is like dance and twerking videos, people fucking
Yeah.
just ripping fucking YouTube content and putting it on TikTok and stuff like that. So yeah,
I'll
I
tell
mean,
you what, the Google Homes, you know how people say like the Google
yeah.
Homes are
hang on,
spying
P, I'll
on
be back.
people? Let me tell you something. If Google Homes are spying on you, I have 8 of those things in my house, and like 5 of them have screens.
Get off
Okay,
here.
that's fine, dude. I'm telling you right now, if they're spying on people, I'm not saying I would be in jail, but I sure as hell wouldn't be sitting here.
Well,
Okay,
the thing is, if they are spying
some of
on
the shit I've done here at this house. Come on.
if they are spying on people, it's like still like illegal to use that in court, but it's more like like if they were gonna do that, it's just like shit like keeping tabs like the NSA and like
Oh, they're keeping
CIA and
tabs.
FBI and stuff.
Fantastic.
I mean,
Just
they straight
most
up
people wouldn't.
admitted.
Yeah, most people wouldn't have anything to worry about though. Like it's just the people who are like making some terror plot,
Oh,
like,
okay,
and
cool.
planning on doing some fuck shit. Like same thing with the like if TikTok is Chinese spyware, like most people wouldn't have anything like who cares, like what am I doing that's gonna help the Chinese government in
Oh
any
yeah,
kind
for
of
sure.
way,
Yeah, I mean, from like that kind of standpoint, no, I would be fine. From some other standpoints, we'd have a serious problem. But
Yeah.
no,
Well,
I mean,
the good thing is, as of now, they can't use anything like that in court
oh,
because it's not
fantastic.
obtained legally. So,
It makes me feel a lot
Yeah,
better the
well, I
last couple of
mean,
weekends.
that
Okay,
was
here.
the right after 9/11, and then like a couple years down the line, they were like, yeah, we're straight up tapping people and like
Yeah,
yeah,
they
admitted
admitted
to
it
it.
straight up,
Yeah,
came out and
yeah.
admitted
yeah.
to it. Yeah.
Edward Snowden, fucking, that reveal that he did. I mean, he lives in Russia to this day because of what he wanted to alert the
Hmm.
American people to. So,
I don't understand classified documentation. Okay, if you're an elite level individual, okay, as a politician, how like classified that like if we the people hire you to do a job and you keep something from us, wouldn't you if you were in that position, wouldn't you get fired?
uh, I
Uh,
mean,
You know what
I'm
I'm saying? Do you know what I'm
this
saying?
shit's
Like, come
so
on, I like just be honest
What
and
are you?
upfront and transparent.
What are you
Like, this
talking
is
about,
bullshit.
dude? That's
I'm
not.
sorry, I got
It's
off
not how
topic. What do you?
it's not how society
we got
works, bro.
Yeah, it's
Fucking,
not how
you bring
society
this
works,
up
but that
like
doesn't
every
mean.
fucking episode.
I
You're like,
know, but that doesn't mean
politics should
how it
just
has
not
to
be
work.
politics, bro. Shut up.
That's not how it should work.
Shut
It's
up.
ridiculous.
It's
It's how it
not.
always works.
It's not how it
from
should work.
from what I
It's
understand
ridiculous.
with people that can access classified stuff, like there's certain levels of security clearance. So like certain shit that these people can see, like these other people can't see, like because they're way high, they have a way higher security clearance. So
Sure.
I mean, they do it so like it's
I want to
like
know everything. I'm
our
a nosy
military
guy.
and shit is like they compartmentalize it so much that like you know to get the whole picture. Like only the people way up here have it, and like these people only know this little bit, and these people only know this little bit. And like,
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I want to know everything.
I
Well,
agree. I'd like to know a lot of it
we're
too.
setting up
I'm
this
very
whole
nosy.
we're setting up this whole our rules thing. So maybe we'll get there one day, Mike.
Exactly.
Fucking, we'll get you some answers. Until then, what you been sipping on, Mike?
All right, Dino, have you ever seen the show Godfather of Harlem?
God, wait, what?
Godfather of Harlem.
God damn it,
I
bro.
have not.
He says
Listen,
it every
bro.
time. I do this bit at the end of every
Hey,
fucking
man,
episode,
we're-
and he's seen this show apparently 3,000 times. Like,
Listen, it's on season 3. I would I'll even give you my YouTube username and password. We're probably gonna get shut down now, but I'm telling you right now, it's fantastic. Okay, I'm a big Entourage fan, so I've been going back through and watching some Entourage, some old Entourage, which the first like 3 or 4 seasons were amazing.
what about that hip hop fucking documentary that you watched?
Dude, Hip Hop Uncensored is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Dude, Hip Hop Uncensored is the shit, man. That's like it gets into some like in-depth information that people don't know, like that happened behind the scenes with different rappers. I mean, you know, even talking about Tupac and Big, like there's just so many interconnections in the hip hop community. It's just wild.
Right. You were talking to me about that the other day, and I was talking. I'm not sure if it's the same one that I saw, but I definitely saw one on Netflix that was.
Yep,
it was
that
like,
one's about the
there's
like,
a couple
history of hip hop. Yes, there are.
Yeah, there's a couple on there, but there was one where like you had Eminem who was doing his little segment during it, and he was talking about how like he would put lyrics on grid paper for the amount of syllables in each bar that he had in order to fucking spell out whatever he needed to get. And like he's like, I can make this rhyme, or I can make this word rhyme with this word, and blah blah blah. And it was just like the way that they have taken music, which already is mathematical in nature in a sense, but just the fact that they have made it that more like analytical is crazy.
Is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he talks about rhyming and the word orange
Yeah.
with so many different
That's
words.
the exact one
It's-
that I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yes, that show actually is. Can I like just
Is
have
it
a
on
second?
Netflix?
It is on Netflix, and it is. It's fantastic.
Check that out, Jeff.
My
There's,
list here. It is.
there's also another
It's-
one where
Hip Hop Evolution is what it's called.
yeah. I think
So,
that's the
so
one that,
I just
Hip Hop
realized I took
Evolution.
your question the wrong way. So I do have a couple shows I've been watching. So I'll come
Yeah,
back.
we'll
to that.
we'll circle back with you after we talk about the first 3 seasons of Godfather. of Harlem,
No,
okay?
we're
We'll
not talking about
circle back to
Godfathers
you,
of Harlem.
Dino,
Fuck off.
okay? We will get back to you. Okay.
fuck up. What's your, no,
no.
shut up, Mike.
Can I have one more?
Okay, fine.
I'm
Listen.
listening.
Spilly, I know I had mentioned this to you. Incarceration Fest. Is anybody else? Are you a like metal fan or like a hard rock fan by chance?
Yeah, I mean, certain.
He grew up on corn.
Okay,
certain
the lineup on that Ink Fest is fantastic. So I've been sipping on trying to get somebody to go with me all 3 days.
I might.
Where's that at?
It's in
It's
Ohio.
up in Mansfield, Ohio. It's
Yeah.
a couple hours away, but
Oh, let's check out the lineup.
it's Friday, Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday. Limp Bizkit's playing. I've never seen Limp Bizkit
yeah.
live.
Limp Bizkit's
They're
there.
headlining one night.
that video that we watched the other day that Justin
The
tagged
new
us in
Limp
was
Bizkit?
fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Their
They're-
new album's awesome.
They're all dressed up as like Biden. And,
No, they're
Putin.
they're not. They're not dressed up as.
They're not dressed
They're
up. Their
doing.
faces.
They're
are,
doing like a regular like Limp Bizkit like garage like fucking old school like gritty fucking beginning of the band like
Yeah.
in the garage playing
Sure.
and stuff, and they do deep fakes of political figures over their faces. And they're fucking playing it. And, like, the song's pretty good. The intro, like, the guitar riff is fucking epic as shit. Like, it's a good-ass song, but just, like, the fact that
The
you see,
video's
like,
hilarious.
Biden and Donald Trump deep-faked over Limp Bizkit fucking playing in the garage and stuff, it's fucking
That's
hysterical.
hilarious, dude. I just want to say this last thing. Their latest album that they just came out with
It's good.
last year is really good.
It's good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's got that old school Limp Bizkit
It's
vibe
Limp
to it.
Bizkit. Yeah.
I've never seen them live, and of course Slipknot's playing on Sunday. So go ahead, Dino.
Oh, yeah.
Godfather of Harlem.
The show that I've started watching is. Have you guys seen You yet?
Yes.
Yes, I have on Netflix.
Now I'm gonna
Wild.
I'm just gonna
It's
let you know.
wild.
Do not ruin anything from the new season. I haven't
I will
seen it
not.
yet.
I've
Okay.
not.
Yeah.
I've not started in the new season.
but
yet.
I'm caught up on
I
the
need
first
to get
3.
started into it.
Yeah.
I'm not caught up
It's-
after the first like 5 episodes. So.
It's just a wild show.
It
I haven't
is.
seen any of it.
And what you get? Neither of you have seen. You've seen some of it, or were you just joking?
I've seen 5 or 6. No, I have seen 5 or 6 episodes. Yeah.
Okay, it's a really good show. It's like a psychological thriller type thing where you're basically following this creep. Like he's like a stalker, and it like takes him in and out. It takes you through like the ins and outs of stalking someone, and it's just this super crazy show. Definitely recommend. But
Yeah, the first 4 or 5 episodes were wild.
no,
for
and
sure.
it just keeps evolving and evolving more and more. Well, what were some of your takes on it though, Mitch?
Just how creepy and crazy it is. I mean, especially just getting into the first season, just the kind of like his descent into the killings and all of that. It's just
Descent into madness.
wild.
It does.
He does it in such a way of like, oh, I'm helping her.
Oh, what a
And
weirdo.
it's
Yeah,
so
it's very
fucking-
innocent. He's got an innocence about him.
The entire show has this like, the omnipotent like overview commentary. Like he is the commentator of it, so it takes you into points where he is like speaking and it's like his inner monologue that's going on. And the way that his mind works makes it like justifiable that these things are okay, but the things that he's doing is so just wrong and creepy. And it's like, old school Dexter in the early 2000s was such a revolutionary show because of its ability to make you fucking, empathize with a serial killer. And it's kind of the same concept, but with like the stalker scenario. But I will say You is better than Dexter. Dexter has a little bit more like compartmentalized seasons. So like each season's a little bit different and like just brand new storyline. You has more of like a continuous story to it, and it's a really good show. Definitely recommend people check it out.
The first 2 seasons of Dexter were really good, but yeah, you seemed pretty good to the first 4 or 5 episodes. Reminds me a lot of Spilly.
A little bit.
What else?
Remember.
What other shows you've been
took
watching,
that.
Mitch?
I mean, I'm trying to think of. I got into the whole the new Lord of the Rings series, and that's pretty good. I think.
Great.
I love it.
If you're a Lord of the Rings nerd, it's a fucking phenomenal show.
It is amazing. And then I also did the obviously what's the other one?
Game of Thrones, House of Dragons.
The Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, forget the last season. They're doing a good job with it, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was definitely a good new take. A lot of people compare the two that we just mentioned, Lord of the Rings and House of Dragons.
Yeah.
It's
The
not
fact
really
that they came out
comparable.
at the same time.
Yeah,
is
that's a
why
lot of
they-
the issue that had it. I'm a little bit more on the Lord of the Rings side of things, but that's because like that's
I
my
am
favorite.
too.
It's my favorite trilogy of all time. If you're thinking about watching either of those series and
It
have
was getting
seen
shit on
have
critically.
well, it's not. If you fucking are watching Lord of the Rings, the new series, there's a lot of like homages to the fucking original like Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson's fucking movie trilogy. Like there's certain characters that are still in there that are in the new show or whatever.
Yeah,
But when it
because
comes
elves
to,
live forever.
when it comes down to it, yeah, but not even that. But like at the beginning of Lord of the Rings, when they're kind of given like the whole background story of it with Isildur cutting off the ring or whatever and fucking becoming manipulated by her or whatever, Isildur is a character in this new series. Like there's a bunch of that. There's a bunch of shit that you realize throughout it if you've really watched Lord of the Rings. That's great. The only thing about it is the comparison really isn't fair because Lord of the Rings is an action adventure fantasy. Lord of the Rings, or not Lord of the Rings, House of Dragons is like Game of Thrones in the sense that it is a political drama that has fantasy aspects to it.
Yes.
Can I say one
agree.
thing real fast, just before you guys move on? I've never seen one episode or minute of Game of Thrones.
And I've told you that you're
Lord of the
fucking
Rings,
retarded for it.
Hobbit, Star Trek, Star Wars, any of those.
Yeah, you're a piece
None
of
of
shit.
those.
Sounds like a personal
None of the
problem.
movies. None of the movies. none
Does
of the
sound like a
shows,
personal problem. And
None of these things.
this has been the
At
third
all.
time
Have you seen
on this
Avatar?
podcast.
Yeah, it's good. James Cameron, bro. Come on. Of course. I've
So
seen
fucking
Avatar.
James Cameron, but fucking Peter Jackson? You're talking about the greatest visual
Dude.
effect movies of all time. Get out of here. Fucking
Titanic
leave.
stole
No,
my
we're done
heart.
talking to you.
Titanic
Leave.
stole my heart. There's
Leave.
a special place for Celine
I fuck
Leave.
with
Dion.
James Cameron. I like all of it. Though.
Leave.
I love James Cameron.
Leave.
Uh,
All right, we're moving
Well,
on. Fuck
Godfather of Harlem.
Last thing for me, it would be on the music side. I just saw Alice in Wonderland a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
So
I saw.
she
Some of her stuff comes up on Twitter, and I know that you live in
she's
Colorado.
so cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's so cool, and I'm planning on going to her at Red Rocks this summer again.
Now, let
She'll be
me
back.
ask you something a little bit on this. Do you have like a background in electronic music and that? Because she's like a pretty big trap artist, and
Yeah, she is.
Jeffy up here, my cousin. My first show ever, I went to, like, first electronic show was Bass Nectar. I went with him and and his brothers and stuff like that. So I'm kind of.
I would love to see RL Grime live, and I think
I've
he's
seen RL Grime here in Cincinnati.
You seen him in
that's
Cincy?
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
When?
yeah. Oh, probably 10, 12 years ago.
I was about ready to say that's a while ago. RL Grime for a while was the king of trap. Now you're
he's
probably
the god. He's the godfather of
Yeah.
trap.
Sounds like you guys might. Sounds like you might be more of a trappy type guy, which I love trap. I love different than hip hop trap, because there's two different things. But yeah, definitely. And we were talking about before the episode. I just got that Frontier, like all you can fly pass or whatever. I'm definitely going to come out and visit and hit up a Red Rock show with you.
Yeah, and then before that, I did get a Decadence out here, which was the 2-night New Year's event out here.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a few years.
Our buddy Dalton and Chewy actually went to that too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a blast. They had so many good. I mean, Closey was there.
That's Bay.
Grizz.
Closey is
Grizz was good.
Oh, that Grizz is awesome.
My boy Jansen was there. The lineup was crazy.
Jansen was there. San Holo.
It was a heavier lineup. That's all I'll say about that.
It was a heavier lineup for sure.
And
then they had it split up between the two because one side you had like Tiesto and what's his face Dylan Francis on like one stage, and
like
the other
House.
Stage was definitely way harder.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I remember.
You're in like the mecca for that. For
electronic
music.
Colorado.
Bass capital of the world.
What he said. Yeah. No, that's why I definitely got to come out there and see a couple of shows up at Red Rock and stuff like that. But
yeah, Red Rocks is a special place
for sure.
Yeah.
You can get to it.
I've been to Legend Valley for Lost Lands twice now, and that's considered like a natural amphitheater, like probably second only to Red Rock in the entire United States. So definitely excited to come see some Red Rock shows. But
for sure.
Moving on, Jeff, what you been sipping on, brother?
The second season of The Legend of Vox Machina just came out. Thursday was the last 3 episodes.
You're talking about Critical Role?
It's the animated show that they're making, and it's so fucking good. It's awesome. I mean, if you like adult cartoons and if you like fantasy stuff, I mean, you know, it's violent, fucking super bloody, and fucking.
How is that? Now I want to know what the animation is like on that, because
it's
Critical
good.
Role for
it's
people
really good.
For people who don't know what Critical Role is. Critical Role is essentially Dungeons and Dragons that they like recorded the video of them
live
playing
play Dungeons and Dragons, yeah.
And
so there's no animation or anything in that. It's just all theater of the mind. But I mean, like I said, they're all like, you know, some of the things Matt Mercer's been in. You know, like
Attack on Titan.
He's been in everything. He's actually playing Ganondorf in the new fucking Legend of Zelda game that's coming out.
If you ever watch like anime or whatever, and I mean even the new
any anime, one of these actors is in it.
Last of Us, aren't some of the people who do Critical Role some of the voice actors for the Last of Us video games and stuff like that?
The Last of Us video game, yeah. Laura Bailey is she actually won a big award at like the video game, like basically like the Grammys or whatever, but like for like voice acting, like stuff like that. She like won a like really big award for her portrayal of the little girl in the Last of Us video game. But and then one of the other ones that's in the show actually is in the Last of Us show. Like because she's in, some of them actually do acting outside of voice acting occasionally. You know, they get jobs and stuff, but she's been in like quite a few different shows. She's one of the younger ones on the cast, but yeah, I mean it's
Yeah,
that show's phenomenal though. I mean they partnered up with like a really big animation studio. It's called Titmouse. They're like a really big one. But
Are they more Western?
yeah, they're over here.
Okay. Cool.
They're over here.
Yeah, no.
But, I mean,
the one of the things that makes you the like animated series about that, because I've tried to get into Critical Role because you've talked so much about it, and like I've watched it and it just isn't my thing. I can't get into it enough. I can't focus enough on like the content to fucking create the theater in my head. So the fact that they might animate it alongside of it, that's
oh, it's wonderful.
yeah. And they have no. Go ahead.
What were you saying?
I was saying the fact that they have, the people who are playing the game are already, acclaimed voice actors and stuff just makes it even more.
They're big time. Yeah, I mean they're like some of the biggest voice actors in the world. Like almost like any anime that's changed over to English. Like one of these guys is going to be, or even several roles in a lot of the animes.
Yeah,
so
if you know anything about like anime and like the dubbing of it or whatever, even over in Japan when they have the sub versions, most of the voice actors play like there's a small community of voice actors that play a very broad range
a bunch of
animes.
different roles and stuff. Yeah, but they're like all super big, and they're also voice video game characters and stuff. Like Matt Mercer was McCree in Overwatch, or not Overwatch. Oh, is it Overwatch? What the hell is that? I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of it, but like I mean they're just real big. But that, and I mean you mentioned The Last of Us. That's really good. I've been watching that right now.
Have you played that though too?
I have not.
It's a great game.
Yeah,
Great game.
I'd like to play it now that I've like seen that. I'm a huge fan of Pedro Pascal. He's like one of my favorite actors, at least like newer actors. So
The Serpent.
yeah, the Red Viper.
Yeah.
What I understand for what you were telling me though, you've seen one episode of Godfather of Harlem. Is that correct?
I've seen 3 of
Jesus
them.
Christ.
Fantastic.
I've seen 3 of them now. I like it. It's pretty good.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm done.
Speaking of
for the
like
day.
conspiracy theory, like in adult cartoons, have you guys seen Inside Job?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The movie?
it got canceled.
No.
It did get
Oh.
canceled.
No, they just had the
Inside Man,
second.
I'm thinking of.
It got canceled.
They just had the second season. It got
Yeah, I
canceled
know,
after
and
that.
it got canceled after the second season,
Mm.
which I was surprised because it had just
Wow.
come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a rough one. I mean, that was one of the cool ones. I think your sister Taylor, Jeff, actually was the one who put me on that. And I watched it. I was like, oh, this is a cool idea. It's kind of like that Family Guy, Rick and Morty style animation. Not style of animation, style of like animated comedy.
It had a lot of really big voice actors, like Bender's voice, and
Yeah.
It's kind of like that whole American Dad, Family Guy, South Park, like the animations that are directed towards adults or whatever. And it's basically just like the whole shadow government actually exists, and there's people that are actually running the government that are underneath in the shadow government. But it's funny, and I watched a couple episodes of that. It's a really good one. So yeah. Now I'm gonna move on into fucking what I've been watching, fucking for what you've been sipping on. I actually just got done this week with anime. Does anyone in here watch anime?
I do not.
No one does. Well,
Probably
shit.
not the type that you're referring to.
You watch
That's
hentai?
bro.
I can talk about hentai. What type of hentai
No,
you
it's okay.
seen, bro?
Nope.
Come on. You want
ahead,
you want to go there? Let's go there.
No, we're okay. We're okay. If they had a Godfather of Harlem in hentai, those would be fantastic.
But
With a lazy eye.
Dude, Forrest Whitaker's a god. Okay,
God damn it.
go on.
But anyway, I've been watching a couple anime recently. I also just got done watching Battlestar Galactica, which is a great show. If you haven't seen it, don't get stuck up in the fucking Dwight Schrute from The Office type shit. That's actually like a really good political, military, fucking just a great show all around. Went on for 6 seasons, or technically 4 seasons, but 6 years. Great show. Also watched Danmachi, which is this new series, which or not new series. It has 4 seasons, but the 4th season just came out, and it came out swinging. If anyone's watched any type of anime, or you're an anime fan out there and haven't watched that one, it's one of those ones that kind of flies a little bit under the radar and is kind of coming up into fruition a little bit. I would definitely make sure you check that one out. It's kind of like this monster dungeon style anime. If you know about anime at all, there's these certain type that, like, it essentially follows a video game character that has been trapped in a video game world. So it's like a regular world person that like gets killed and wakes up into a dream, and their dream is essentially a video game. Like there's whole like boss levels, or like levels to a dungeon and stuff, and like certain like boss leveling and stuff like that. But it's like a hardcore action adventure game.
You talking about Critical Role?
No, I'm not.
No, I'm just talking about like you're like basically describing Dungeons and Dragons, like, but in an anime form.
Well, Dungeons and Dragons is essentially like almost like a video game type. That like they put like leveling systems and stuff like that into the game.
It's pen and paper, but it's all done on pen and paper.
Yeah, but this is more like the person is you're the main character is like the player, but they're trapped inside the game. So like they'll be working through like real world scenarios or whatever. Real world meaning like that video game scenario. So like they're fighting minotaurs or goblins in a dungeon or whatever in order to level up. And while they're doing it, they have like a loading screen that they can pull up, and they can be like, okay, I'm using this certain ability, blah, blah, blah. They're talking about leveling. There's like certain characters in the series that are level 4 and other characters that are level 3 or whatever, if that makes any type of sense.
Yeah, it does.
No.
Well, what makes sense?
It's strange, but
It's kind of like a Dark Souls.
It's a whole. It's
like
a whole
Dark Souls.
Well, yeah, it's an RPG. Essentially, it's taking the aspect of like me playing something like World of Warcraft, and me being put into the game, and I'm able to know that there's like this gaming system, but everyone around me, the NPCs and stuff like that, don't. Know what I mean? It's weird. If you watch the anime and you know the specific type of genre, because it's everywhere in anime, then you'd know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's one of those. The animation is top tier. The fight for choreographs is top tier. The storytelling is top tier. It's one of those ones that's in the 4th season now. The story has continued throughout all the seasons, so I'm always a big fan of that. I don't like how they like get from one season to another and then boom, completely new story. So definitely check that one out. Definitely check out Battlestar Galactica if you can get into some older shows. Yeah. Do we have any closing comments, y'all?
I think that's all.
I got to pee so bad.
All right, go take a pee. It's been episode 49 of Your House, Our Rules. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.